viewers, welcome back with me Mutiara in Indonesian News of TRIBUN Lampung. We will present you an updating and interesting information from every place in Indonesia. And here are the complete news. The first news comes from Papua. Viral fight between a policeman and Indonesian National Army allegedly because of a woman. A violent fight between unscrupulous members of the Indonesian National Army and the police has gone viral on social media. This embarrassed the two security institutions in public. The incident is known to have occurred on Yosudarso Street, Fak-Fak Regency, West Papua. The fight went viral after being recorded by a resident. There were several people who broke out the dispute, which allegedly occurred because of the love affair. However, the commotion between the Indonesian National Army personnel at the Military Resort Command 182 and the police officer from the Fak-Fak Resort Police was confirmed to have ended peacefully. Head of Information for the Military Area Command of 18 Cavalries, Lieutenant Colonel Infantry Batara Alex Bulo said that the incident occurred because of a misunderstanding. The incident began when an individual from the Indonesian National Armed Force named Second Sergeant Gilbert came to the Fak-Fak Resort Police Barracks, which consists of female and male police officers, on Tuesday, July 26, 2022. Second Sergeant Gilbert arrival was to borrow a motorcycle belonging to a female police officer named Bribda Eti or Teresia at around 8:15 a.m. At 12 p.m. o'clock, Sergeant Gilbert returned to the police barracks at the Fak-Fak Resort to return the motorbike belonging to Eti. Next, Brigadier Eti intends to take Sergeant Gilbert back to the Military Resort Command headquarters. Then Sergeant Gilbert contacted his comrades at the headquarters and told them that he was beaten by the police. Hearing this, Gilbert's colleagues, who was accompanied by one of the chief sergeants, headed to the Fak-Fak Resort Police headquarters to make a police report. But at the time, they were about to return to headquarters to pick up Sergeant Gilbert. After the incident, the commander of the Regional Military Command 182 Jazira Onim Colonel Infantry Hartono held an extraordinary rally to defuse the situation. The military resort commander gave instruction to all soldiers that the misunderstanding would be resolved amicably. Batara said that the Indonesian National Army and the Indonesian National Police had to be united and synergized in maintaining security and order. The next news is about the case of Brigadier J. The National Human Rights Commission will ask for the testimony of Ferdy Sambo. The Commissioner of the National Human Rights Commission, Choirul Anam, emphasized that the National Human Rights Commission would definitely summon Inspector General Ferdy Sambo. His party will ask for information from the wife of Inspector General Ferdy Sambo, who was previously suspected of being harassed by Brigadier J. This was said by Anam in response to the question of why the National Human Rights Commission has not yet conducted an investigation on Inspector General Ferdy Sambo or his wife. It is known that the National Human Rights Commission has examined a number of witnesses to investigate the case of the death of the Brigadier Nofriansah Yosua Huta Barat or Brigadier J. Among them, examined 6 items to head of the non-active provision and security division, Inspector General Ferdy Sambo, including Barada A, who was involved in a shootout with Brigadier J, has also given his statement to the National Human Rights Commission. Anam then explained it that before calling Ferdy Sambo and Putri Chandrawati, there was something that the National Human Rights Commission had to do. This is to strengthen the story sequences of the case of Brigadier J first. Only then will the National Human Rights Commission summon Inspector General Ferdy Sambo for questioning. In addition to examining Ferdy and Putri, the National Human Rights Commission will again examine the crime scene at the Indonesian National Police Housing Complex Duren 3, South Jakarta. However, until now, Anam is still reluctant to tell when Inspector General Ferdy Sambo's examination time will be. Previously, the National Human Rights Commission had also disclosed Second Bayangkara East confession regarding the shooting incident at the residence of Inspector General Ferdy Sambo. In his statement, the shooting action he did was a form of response and reflex from the action taken by Brigadier J. However, his acknowledgement has not yet become the final conclusion of the National Human Rights Commission because it is still going to be investigated. The next news is video recording of second Corporal M's conversation before he died. A video recording of a conversation called Corporal M was widely circulated on social media on Friday, July 29, 2022. Narrated, the conversation was between a worker and second Corporal M before he died. One of the videos was uploaded by the Instagram account at infocommando.official. The video shows a man who is said to be receiving a call from the figure of second Corporal M. It was explained that the man who received the call was called Kabul, a worker at second Corporal M. In the video, Kabul asked the man on the other end of the phone to come home, but the man replied that it was too late to go home. Kabul continues to convince the figure to go home because it is his children who still need a father figure. However, the man behind the phone kept saying it was too late, couldn't stand it, and had given up on the state of his health. The man then asked Kabul to be a good uncle to his children. Until now, Tribun News and Tribun Jatim are still investigating the video and looking for valid evidence. As is known, second Corporal M was the mastermind behind the shooting of his wife Rina Wulandari some time ago. However, second Corporal M was found out at his parents' house in Kendal on Thursday, July 28, 2022, after leaving his duty and becoming a fugitive. M himself hired 5 people to shoot his wife on Monday, July 18, 2022. Luckily, the victim's wife, who is currently carrying her child, survived it after receiving treatment. Meanwhile, the 5 suspects have now been detained by the police, and the death of second Corporal M will not evade their punishment. The next news is, a house collapses in Jakarta, 1 person dies. Head of the DKI Jakarta Regional Disaster Management Agency Isnawa Adji revealed the cause of the collapsed house in Johar Baru, Central Jakarta. He said the 3-story building collapsed due to the negligence of the officer working on the waterworks project. For information, the building collapsed on Thursday, July 27, 2022 in the afternoon at around 3:15 p.m. The process of handling the collapsed building lasted dramatically until 21 minutes past 9 p.m. As a result of this incident, 1 person died and 2 others were injured. Material losses were estimated at 300 million rupiah. Choirul hastily stepped outside as soon as he saw the electric wires in front of his shop swaying on Thursday, July 28, 2022 in the afternoon. He also heard the screams of the resident who told him that a house had collapsed. The worker at the basic food agency then quickly walked to the source of the sound. He saw that the building had collapsed. Rubble debris can be seen piling up and scattered around the road. The atmosphere was filled with crowds of people. Some residents helped lift the rubble of the building to save the victims who were crushed by the building. Choirul heard screams for help from the rubble. He also saw a motorbike that was hit by the rubble of a building still running. The woman who screamed, he said, did not survive the fateful incident. The next news is condolences to the family of a fatal incident involving a train and Odong-Odong. Wednesday, July 26 at 11 o'clock was a bad moment for Tamin, a resident of Cibetik Village, Gang Salim, Pengampelan Village, District Walantaka, Serang City, Banten. How could it not be? Like lightning striking in broad daylight, Tamin received news via telephone that his beloved wife and two grandchildren were victims of a fatal accident between the train and the Odong-Odong. Tamin's wife, Kadila, was one of the victims who died in the fateful incident, while her two grandchildren, Isnawa Adji and Putri Kaila, who were both 3 years old, were victims with serious injuries. Tamin also told wartakotalive.com the moments of the tragedy that had befallen her family during an interview at his home on Thursday, July 28, 2022. Arriving at the location of the crime scene in Cibetik Village, the 51-year-old man could not find his wife. Then he continued his search for his family to Pematang Health Center, Kragilan, and when he got there, Tamin finally managed to find out the news that his two grandchildren were still alive. However, at Pematang Tamin Health Center, he only met one of his grandchildren, Isnawa Adji, while the other granddaughter, Putri Kaila, had been taken to Hermina Hospital. After asking about the condition of her granddaughter, it turned out that Isnawa Adji had to undergo further treatment, so she was also taken to Hermina Hospital. After confirming that these two grandchildren were in the hospital, Tamin returned to search for his wife to the Serang City Regional General Hospital. After searching for information for more than an hour, Tamin had to accept the reality about the departure of his beloved wife. This was known to Tamin after Serang City Regional General Hospital announced the names of the victims who had been identified. Nevertheless, Tamin admitted that he had forgiven the departure of his beloved wife. Now his focus and family is on the handling and health of his two grandchildren who were seriously injured. The reason is the two little angels who are still under the age of 5 have to endure the pain of the operation process for safety. The next news is, suspected of having a mental disorder, a son injured his mother. NP, who 26 years old, had the heart to slash his biological mother with a sharp weapon. The incident occurred on Wednesday, July 27, 2022 at around 9 a.m. in Pagar Puding Lambo Village, Serai Serumpun District, Tebo Regency. The incident began when the victim returned from the Batang Hari River. When he arrived at the NP's house, he immediately injured the victim with a sharp weapon. The victim immediately screamed in pain. Then Miss Nadewi, who is NP's chosen, heard the scream and immediately ran to a neighbor's house to get help. When he got home, it turned out that NP had run away from home. Miss Na said that she did not know what caused NP to slash her unbiological mother. However, said Miss Na, NP cannot hear but can speak but know fluently. NP lives with his mother every day, and according to Miss Na NP's knowledge, there is no problem with his mother. Meanwhile, the head of the Serang police sector, Sriyanto, confirmed the incident. He received reports from the community of domestic violence. Receiving a report from the community, he immediately went to the scene, where the scene was in Pagar Pudin Lama Village, Serai Serumpun district. The cause is currently being investigated. The information is that the perpetrator has a mental disorder but is currently being investigated. The perpetrators have been arrested at the Tebo Resort Police. At the time of security, there was no resistance from the perpetrators. The last news is drug village raids in Medan. The police conducted another raid on a residential area that was suspected to be a drug den on Thursday, July 28, 2022 in the afternoon. The location is on Kelambir Vibe Street, Pantai, Medan Helvetia district. This is the second raid on the place. Head of the Unit 3 of the Narcotics Investigation Unit of the Medan City Police Resort, First Police Inspector Marvel Ansanai, said that from this location his party had arrested a number of men suspected of being involved in drugs. He explained that the raid was carried out because of information from the public who were restless with drug trafficking activities in the location. Marvel said, based on this information, it immediately conducted an investigation and raids. He explained that in addition to securing the four perpetrators, the officers also confiscated a number of evidences in the form of a suction device or bone and also the rest of the crystal methamphetamine. Currently, his party is still conducting an examination of the perpetrators to determine their status as user or dealers. Furthermore, the former head of the Medan City Police Criminal Investigation Unit admitted that during the raid, there were a number of people suspected of obstructing officer. Currently, the four perpetrators and their evidence have been taken to the police station for examination. Previously, this location was also raided by the Narcotics Investigation Unit of the Medan City Resort Police on Wednesday, February 9, 2022 ago. At the time, officers arrested 4 people, one of whom was a drug dealer. In addition, the police also found a number of jackpot gambling machines. Well, I think that's all the news for today with me, Mutiara. Don't forget to follow us in YouTube Tribun Lampung News Video, Tribun Lampung Facebook, Tribun Lampung Instagram, and Tribun Lampung TikTok for further information. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.